Apple Valley, right?
Beautiful Apple Valley, home of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans.
Roy Rogers?
Yeah, he's buried nearby here.
Now, who's Dale Evans?
Dale Evans is his wife.
Dale Evans, Roy Rogers, and
Dale Evans was the
me.
cowboy hero from the 50s and 60s that did all the movies, and all the spaghetti westerns were filmed up here. All the westerns. He lived about 3 miles from here.
I'll be damned. So, folks, I am what's called a boondocker, and Joe has welcomed me, right? Boondocker.
True statement. You're about the 8th or 9th person we've had in the last 2 years.
Boondockers welcome. So I'm here in Apple Valley. I was driving down the road yesterday. I'm on an around the world trip.
Wow.
Have you ever done an around the world trip?
I've been to 51 or 2 countries. I haven't done an around the world trip, but with the Air Force, I spent 9 years in Europe, so I've seen quite a bit.
Did you?
Yeah, I've seen I've been to every European country except for the Eastern countries.
Tell me you've been to Budapest.
My wife lived in Budapest.
She did?
She was attached to the Marine
So
Corps.
she'll know what it means when I say Yoragat Kivano Kujva, Joel.
I can't guarantee that. Is that good morning?
Now, Joe is a touchy kind of guy. You know, he's always going like this, which that's a good sign.
When you get to be my age, you don't you don't know how much time you have left. You're touchy-feely.
When my dad was about your age, he used to always say, when you're my age, all women are beautiful.
That's a true statement.
Is that a true statement?
That is a true statement. You've learned from quite a few mistakes that others have made, not necessarily you.
So I came through. I was driving through last night. I needed a place to stay, and I thought I'd go on the website, Boondockers Welcome, and I saw your wife's and your listing here, and I was talking to your wife. Your wife is from England, yes?
My wife is from right near London.
Right near London, and you are a homeboy. You're a homeboy.
You mean I'm from Cleveland?
You're from South Euclid.
Yeah, I'm from about probably 5 miles from where you are.
Yeah, I grew up in Euclid. You went to Brush High School.
I went to Cathedral Latin, which is a Catholic high school in the central Cleveland. It's closed now. And then I didn't make the basketball team, and I went to Brush and made the basketball team.
Did you beat Euclid? You remember?
I can't remember. We played Euclid. I remember the gym was probably Rinky Dink.
Rinky Dink, something like that.
Yeah, no. So, Brush. We had a brand new gym, 1960.
You had a brand new gym.
Yeah.
So you joined. What took you out of Cleveland?
I actually wanted to fly for the Air Force, and I got accepted for pilot training in 1972.
1972. So you didn't see, to speak of, if I'm not mistaken, you didn't see any conflict, did you?
I flew combat in Vietnam.
You did fly conflict in Vietnam.
I flew a gunship. You know what a gunship is?
Well, I know. I think I know. But one moment. You said 72.
Yeah. War ended in 75.
Are you kidding me?
Most people don't know that.
You're kidding me.
No.
I
was
remember.
Over the top of Saigon, April 30th, 1975.
Thank you.
It ended.
Thank you. You know, every time I talk to somebody, particularly a Vietnam veteran, I want to extend my gratitude.
You know why? Because when I came back, right after, I think I came back from Thailand, we flew out of Thailand, May of 75, it wasn't a friendly welcome. That's what I remember.
No.
I won't tell you about the details, but San Francisco, if you were in uniform, which I think, to my recollection, I was, it wasn't pleasant.
No.
Okay.
So you were a fighter pilot in Vietnam.
I actually tell you the story. I got washed out of pilot training because of my eyes. Got to pilot training, washed out of pilot training. I had to become a navigator. So I flew as an electronic warfare officer in the AC-130 gunship that has the guns on the side. And then coming out of Thailand, I transitioned to the back seat of fighters, regrettably.
Really?
It wasn't great for me, because bottom line, fighters were very demanding, as you possibly know.
Sure.
Okay, but in peacetime, I flew the F-4, which was the predominant airplane for the Air Force and the Navy. I flew it for 15 years. Let's say I had not always the best recollections of getting along with a lot of fighter pilots.
Wow.
Because the saying goes in the Air Force, if you're not a fighter pilot, you're not diddly. Okay? I was fortunate to retire. I've got about 2,000 hours.
You know what strikes me sitting here talking to you is that that particular conflict, any conflict, any military, any war, if you will,
Uh-huh.
really can take its toll on people. I mean, you know, people. You seem so happy-go-lucky. So
I was over there at the tail end.
Yeah.
The tail end, if you don't remember, let me educate your viewers. Your bottom line is the war was when I got there in August, September of '74, we were in a transitional period, Henry Kissinger's truce negotiations. We didn't have much going on. So if you don't remember, everything started to happen early '75. We had the fall of Phnom Penh in February or March. We had the Mayaguez, which I flew in. And then Saigon was infiltrated by the North Vietnamese.
Wow.
And Saigon, and again, it wasn't really combat, but it was declared combat. All we did was monitor the situation. The AC-130 is the airplane I flew in Vietnam. But again,
AC-130.
I had only 2 or 3 combat missions, and they really weren't combat. Other than mistakes happened and people got killed.
Henry, you mentioned Henry Kissinger. Is he still alive?
I believe so. Believe it or not, he's about 100 years old.
Yeah.
He's still. You're gonna have
I
to
mean,
look.
he was quite the statesman.
True statement.
You know.
And we could use him today.
Yeah, we could use him
I won't
today.
get into any politics.
No, we won't talk, but we'll save politics for later. But anyway, so you grew up in Euclid. What year did you leave?
I left
Or
Cleveland.
South Euclid, I should say.
I left Cleveland for OTS. You know what OTS is, right?
Over.
Officer Training School.
Oh, okay.
January 1st. I actually drove from Cleveland, got a brand new car. I think I bought it in Cleveland, and drove to San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
And I was in San Antonio, Texas for OTS from January to March.
Yeah.
And then I went to Mather for navigator training.
Let's test your trivia. You remember Buddy Bell?
I do remember Buddy Bell. Correct me, he was a third baseman.
Third baseman. How about Rico Cardi?
I don't remember Rico Cardi.
Who played first base?
What year was that?
I don't know, like 71, 70.
No.
Boog.
No.
Boog
No.
Powell.
I don't remember the Indians in the 70s because they were terrible.
Boog Powell. You don't remember Boog Powell?
He played for Cleveland?
Yeah, Boog Powell.
Now, 10 years
Ray
ago.
Fosse.
20 years ago.
Ray
no.
Fosse.
Hey, you remember the 60s, Cleveland was called what? What was Cleveland called?
The Mistake on the Lake?
You're right. And who coined that?
I don't know.
Goulardi.
Malardi?
Goulardi was
Goulardi
was a talk show host in the 60s and the early 70s. And if you don't remember, Cuyahoga River caught on fire in 1969.
I'm down by the flats.
Right down by the flats.
Down. How the hell did you end up in Apple Valley?
Well,
And where the hell are
this
all the
is-
apples?
This is Fighter Town, USA. This is my last fighter assignment. Was George Air Force Base. Today, it is our largest growth industry. I'd have to show you, tell you to go out there. There's 3 federal prisons.
No kidding. And Roy Rogers is? You said Roy
Roy Rogers and Dale are buried right by here.
Right. How far from here?
About 7 miles.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And
They're
is there, they're in a cemetery, obviously, with a
Oh, that Trigger is stuffed.
Trigger.
Trigger is the horse.
Yeah, but Trigger's over there.
Trigger. My wife will tell you she's been over there for a funeral. Believe they have a statue of Trigger.
All right. Hey, listen, I got to tell you something. I'm just going to give you a fair warning, okay? There's a guy that I'm not going to call him a stalker. You know what a stalker is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, there's this guy named Skip Smith. Okay, he's 67. How old are you?
I'm 70.
70. He's not too far behind you. His name is Skip Smith, and he lives in a retirement community called The Villages. He's a grumpy old man. I like to give him a hard time on my videos.
Okay.
And he's a guy that, you know, in many ways, although he wouldn't admit it, he wants to be just like me.
Well, I've heard of people like you. Matter of fact, I was just Googling, what do I do now that I'm retired?
Yeah, that's Skip Smith. That's Skip
what
Smith.
What do you do? You got loads of time. I got loads of money.
That's-
what do you do with all this?
That's Skip Smith. He wants to be just like me.
Okay.
So, being just like me, Skip Smith is probably going to be tooling down the road, and you're probably going to get a request for him to stay here with his wife Sue.
Skip.
Okay. You can let his wife Sue stay here, but don't let Skip stay here, because he'll sneak into your house in the middle of the night, start raiding your refrigerator,
You're kidding.
eating your food. No. Don't let Skip Smith
Okay.
stay here. If you get a request from a guy named Skip
Okay.
Smith, he might change his name to Floyd Smith.
Okay.
Okay. So Skip Smith or Floyd Smith,
Yeah.
you get a request from somebody like that, just say, sorry, you're booked, you're out of
Okay.
town, something like that, okay?
Very good.
There you
Very
go.
good.
There you go, Skip Smith. All right,
Okay.
we gotta go.
A friendly competitor.
Yeah, Skip. Well, no, Skip. Yeah, I've got about 12,000 subscribers
Wow.
on YouTube.
Okay.
Skip, I think, is up to 4. Yeah,
Four. Well, I think he's in lag pursuit.
Yeah,
now that
I-
means in fighter talk, he's deep at your 6 and he's not catching up.
That's right. That's right. He's deep. What is it called?
Deep at your 6.
Deep at my 6. That's like behind you,
Right.
right?
When you're
Skip?
flying a fighter,
Yeah, Skip. You're deep at my 6.
You're deep at a 6, and he's hey, you need some afterburner there, Skip.
Yeah, Skip. Light up the afterburner, huh, Skipper? All right. Take care, everyone. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, that was